You can't always control what comes into your life, but you can control what it turns you into. And this final part of the series isn't just about what happened. It's about what I chose to do with it, because every experience carries two paths. You either feed it or you transform it. This whole situation didn't start as anything dramatic. It happened as everyday life happening in close proximity, shared space, shared environment, and people living their lives in a way that eventually became disruptive to other people. There were moments when communication was attempted. There were moments when boundaries were needed. Over time, instead of resolution, there was escalation in behavior patterns and misunderstanding of intent. But the important part of this isn't to relive the details. It's to understand what it reveals about human behavior. One of the biggest lessons I've learned in this entire experience is this: people don't always respond to what is actually happening. They respond to what they believe is happening. Meaning gets assigned quickly. And once meaning is assigned, emotions follow. And once emotions take over, behavior becomes reactive instead of grounded. That's where things start to spiral, not from the original action, but from the interpretation layered on top of it. And this happens everywhere in life, not just in conflict. In relationships, in families, in workplaces, in everyday misunderstandings. When everything becomes personal, everything becomes heavier than it needs to be. As we've talked about before, every action creates a ripple, and that ripple doesn't stop at the person creating it. It moves outward, into environments, into other people's nervous systems, into families, into children, into neighbors, into anyone having to share space with that energy. And what most people don't realize is the impact of behavior is rarely contained in the moment that it happens. It spreads quietly over time, and it affects more people than the original situation ever accounts for. Not just emotionally, but physically, mentally, and energetically. At some point in this experience, I had to make a decision, not about them, but about me. Do I continue participating in the emotional cycle that the situation creates? Or do I step back and choose a different internal response? It didn't take me long to decide. I knew what was best for me, because I realized something important. I can't always control external behavior, but I can control whether I feed it internally. So I stopped giving my energy to the cycle itself, not by ignoring reality, but by refusing to stay emotionally entangled in something that I couldn't solve with reaction. I chose regulation over retaliation, awareness over escalation, and grounding over emotional spillage. One of the most important shifts for me was this: energy doesn't disappear, it moves somewhere. So I had to ask myself, am I going to let this consume me, or am I going to turn it into something useful? And I chose to create, to reflect, to process, to turn lived experience into something that others could understand: emotional regulation, boundaries, and internal stability. Because if I don't direct that energy consciously, it just loops. And I was not willing to stay in that loop. The biggest lesson from all of this isn't the situation itself. It's this: you can't always control what enters your life, but you can control what it produces inside of you. And that changes everything, because not every situation is asking you to react. Not every moment is asking you to engage. Not every trigger is asking you to respond externally. Sometimes life is just showing you what it feels like to stay grounded inside of chaos. Choose yourself anyway. So this is the final lesson of the series. Every experience carries energy, and that energy has to go somewhere. It will either become reaction, resentment, reactivity, or repetition, or it will become awareness, growth, creativity, and creation. And for me, I choose creation, not because it was easy, but because I refuse to let what happens to me decide who I become. I decide that, and that's where my power is. This is the Introverted Coach, guiding you home. I love you all, stay golden, and I will see you in the next one. And that's all about love.